welcome back. In today's video, we're doing something a little bit different than a top 10 list. Today, we're doing NFL weird facts, just weird facts about the NFL that nobody would think. Just nobody would think this. Steve Young was the first lefty quarterback ever in the Hall of Fame. Like, you'd expect this because there's not a lot of big lefty quarterbacks, and Steve Young was a lefty and an amazing quarterback of his time. So, you'd expect that. You'd definitely expect that. Like, you definitely wouldn't not expect it. Like, everybody would expect that Steve Young was lefty, but it's kind of weird to think nobody was really in the Hall of Fame like 1990 or something. Maybe I think it was early 2000s actually. And like, by then, nobody in the NFL had ever been in the Hall of Fame that was a lefty quarterback. It's weird, but true. The Super Bowl was inspired by a toy. There was this toy called a Super Bowl, and he was like the NFL commissioner or somebody who worked with with the NFL. He saw his kids playing with this toy called the Super Bowl. And, a bowl for sports, like they do bowl games. And he was like, why not call the big game we're going to do the Super Bowl? Like, the Super Bowl. Like, it's pretty super and it's a bowl. It was inspired by that toy, the Super Bowl. The Eagles and Steelers once combined to make one team. Because they were both, like, the NFL was in a really bad situation, not a lot of money. And the Eagles and Steelers being in the same state just went, well, bro, let's make one team. Why not? Make one team. So they did that. They made one team. That's what they did. Only 2 defensive players ever have won MVP. Bruce Smith won it one year. Bruce Smith? I'm pretty sure it's Bruce Smith. The other guy. I'm pretty sure it's Bruce Smith. And I mean, like, what's this biasness, NFL? Give defensive players MVP. What's the biasness you have on offensive players, and especially quarterbacks and running backs? You especially have biasness on quarterbacks, too. But, I mean, Lawrence Taylor, the other guy, because, there's no way Lawrence Taylor did not win an MVP. Lawrence Taylor did not win an MVP, they would have been too biased towards people because Lawrence Taylor is a freak of nature. It takes about 2 cows to supply enough leather for NFL footballs. 12 cows. 12 cows for enough leather for an NFL football. For all the NFL footballs they make for the Super Bowl. 12 cows for just one game. One game. They need 12 cows for one game. You understand this? 12 cows to make footballs for one game. One game. One game. Why? Why, NFL? Why do you do this? Like, why? What's the problem? What's the problem against cows? You don't need that many footballs. Redskins kicker Mark Mosley won an MVP. A kicker won MVP. It was in a year where the NFL ended in 8 games. It's really down here, but a kicker won MVP. Let's go. Kickers are people too. I don't care about the punters are people too. They are, but kickers are people too as well. Kickers are people too. Chuck Howley is the only player from a losing team to win Super Bowl MVP. That's when you know you're good. You win Super Bowl MVP when your team loses the Super Bowl. That's when you know you're good. Like, you're good, bro. Like, you're good. You're really good. You won MVP. Super Bowl MVP when your team didn't even win the Super Bowl. Like, bro. Oh, bro. The last scoreless NFL game was in 1943. 1943. That's the last time they had a tie with no points. I guess like they always have 3 or 7 points in ties. It's crazy. 1943. That's the last scoreless NFL game. 1943. That's like 80 years ago. Wait. 1940. Yeah, that's like 40 years ago. What? That's 70, 80 years ago. It's crazy. It's crazy. The first player ever drafted, because the NFL, the first player ever drafted never played in the NFL. Because the NFL used to do just all rookies were free agents. But when they started doing the draft, the first player ever drafted never played in the NFL. He was the first pick in the first draft. He never played. Because he was like, bro, I want more money than that. They didn't give him enough money. And then another team didn't give him enough money. So he went to go work at a leather shop and make footballs. Like, bro, what's your problem? You're the first player ever picked in the NFL. Ever. That's cool. And then you never played in the NFL. What's your problem? There are less than 11 minutes of action in an average NFL game. Which, I mean, you can think about it. It's like so long. You sit there for 4 hours to get 11 minutes of action. Do you realize this? You sit in a stadium for 4 hours to get 11 minutes of action. That's an NFL football game, not a college, because college is more action. But 11 minutes. 11. Only 11 minutes of action. I don't believe that. It said it. I found this out. So, that's kind of crazy, bro. The Browns are the only team with no logos logo on their helmets. Like, you probably knew that. The Browns just have a brown helmet. That's actually their logo. So, technically, they have a logo on their helmet because their logo is their helmet. So, I got to say that. Whoever made that up, that they're the only team without a logo on their helmet, technically, they do have a logo on their helmet because their logo is their helmet. Facts. Hope you liked it. If anything that you didn't know and it made you go crazy and you're like, wow, bro, I didn't know that, put it in the comments below. Hope you liked it. That was NFL Weird Facts. Peace.